well. It's COG here. Yeah, playing some Space Engineers. This recording got a little scuffed because ended up not recording audio first time around. So yeah, the tracking and the video are from one recording, and then the audio is a later recording. So yeah, I decided whilst I was doing that as well to I didn't want to have to record a half hour of audio a second time around, so it is sped up the video to double speed. Apologies for that, but yes. So anyway, on to the thing. Obviously, right, I look at the rover that got broke at the end of the last episode, including the battery that's almost completely ruined, and am now searching for home base because I never put GPS for home base in the previous save sessions. So that's the current plan. In theory, is to try and find home base with the hydrogen fuel that I have available to me in the save. As you can see, I'm looking around near other checkpoints and the like. I'm getting a rough idea of how this is going. And how quickly hydrogen is just ticking down, and I didn't think to check my hydrogen properly. Although it wouldn't have made much of a difference, but hydrogen is ticking down. I'm flying around trying to find base. Not had much luck. I was trying to mess with settings at the same time. I think it was. I'm trying to remember what the settings I was looking for were. I can't remember. I don't think I ever found them. It might have been looking for the options on trash cleanup, which decides on how quickly you things get removed from the world when they've not got power, effectively. So the base idea of that is obviously right. There's the potential for combat and like right, and things just getting damaged and broken and blocks falling off. And yeah, there I ran out of hydrogen and respawn back at base and take a look around, try and find inventory slots so I can get into here and make myself a new hydrogen bottle as soon as I just died. So that's step one. Queue up a new hydrogen bottle. I queue up an oxygen bottle as well and realise that's a waste of resources because I'm on an oxygenated planet. And then I go grab the new hydrogen bottle, and I think I'm making a decision on what to do next here. Basically, it's okay, do I try and fix the rover? Do I go looking for material? There's a couple options here as to what I could do. And then I'm looking at base, look at where points are, various things, and just make a GPS for home base, seeing as that was the problem. That's why I died last. And then I'm looking, thinking about it. This is where I think I decide to grab a cargo container because I've got the last of the metal grids from the initial starting thing. Comes with 4 metal grids, right? The spawn vehicle comes with 4 metal grids, and that's enough to build a small cargo container at least. So then I also decide I want to take some steel plate and allow for easier to just make the entrance, the front of the base, effectively a little bit better. So I'm looking for the ramps, putting them down, on some blocks. So now it's nice and easy to walk up onto the base, and I've actually at the right height without using a jetpack to access things like the survival kit and the brand new cargo container. Woo! And then from there, it's okay. Well, I'm gonna try and fix. I can't queue up blocks entirely, so I just okay. I'm gonna try and guess as to what I need for things. So I know I need power cores. I know how many of them I need. I think I know I'm gonna need a decent chunk of steel plate. So I'm going to queue up some left. I know I'm going to need a couple, computers, at least a few, some motors, almost certainly. Right, that's like a bare minimum. I think for a minute about whether or not I need anything else, definitely, right? And that ends up being, I end up unqueuing the tubes again, because those are a bit of a pain, actually. And it's like, okay, I probably won't need them. And then, I check in here, grab some silicon, see what else is down here, because it's been a while since I played, and I couldn't remember what was down here in the mine. And it's just ice and silicon. So it's actively unhelpful. Well, it's not unhelpful right now, but it's not a helpful. None of those are helpful supplies right now, so I leave again, because that's not helpful. What I really need is some iron, because, that's expensive, actually. A lot of what I need is expensive, so I drop off the silicon already ordered, and then, I look through the production. Well, it's managed to make some bits, so I'm like, okay, maybe that's enough to fix the rover. I grab them. No, this I decide to use the fact that I don't have a rover to justify going out on jetpack to try and find some ores. I don't have much luck with this the entire time, I can tell you that much. So a lot of this flying around is relatively fruitless. I find, the one boulder here for nickel, I take a small sample effectively. Well, it's not very much, it's not very helpful. Well, it wouldn't ever be helpful in the amounts I grab it. And it's just like, okay, I made it in through the stone and then didn't keep mining. But inventory is relatively full of stone. I've put the marker down and I'm like, okay, I can come back to that if I need it. Right, nickel isn't generally a much needed ore. You tend to get enough from the stone you secondarily pick up until you get a proper mining ship that's dumping all your stone. At which point, okay, cool. You then need nickel again. You then might want a nickel source, but until that point, you're, as long as you're incidentally mining stone, you really don't need nickel. And now I'm flying upwards to see if I can get a spot on, because ore patches discolour the ground. So the theory is if I fly upwards, right, even though it's night time, and so visibility is not great, I should be able to see the discoloration on the ground. This is, in theory, a good idea, right? And it's like, okay, cool, I should be able to see discoloration on the ground. It should be darker spots, but I'm like, okay, well, check any discoloration. Of course, that's just differences in terrain where it's steeper and rockier, so you lose the grass cover. But and then the ice lake there, I can't see any discoloration in the ice lake, at least at this distance. I'm like, well, okay, maybe if I get closer I'll spot something. Right, just look around. I'm going to try and find an ore patch, effectively. I'm messing around with different flying options in terms of dampers and angles, but it's all just eating hydrogen quite fast. And generally, I'm not having any luck. I think I see something on the ice lake. It's a little, like, the way the lighting is, there's a dark strip, which isn't anything, but it looks like it might be for a bit, so I skim over the top of the ice lake, don't pick up anything on the ore scanner that comes with the drill. So, other than the ice itself, which obviously I pick up, but that's it. And I keep looking around, and just seeing if I can spot a darker spot at all, effectively. Just anything that might be an ore supply at all, because at this point I desperately need an iron supply and I'm not finding one, and I run out of jetpack fuel. So I'm back at base, and this time I don't fall down because things were set up sensibly. And I see if I can build a hydrogen bottle. I can't with the fuel I've got. I decide, well, I need the rover then, right, to do more scouting. So I go to the inventory. I disassemble a couple bit. The radio components primarily because I've decided I won't need them. Right, I'm not putting radio components on anything for a while, which maybe isn't the smartest idea. Right, I've just learnt twice how useful it is to have fine. I've just learned how useful it is to have a easily findable spot. But again, my base is static, so the GPS will work just as well as an antenna in terms of findability without the use of power consumption, right? I don't have any remote control, anything going on. I don't need an antenna at this time. GPS will do the trick. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to grab a load of components and then head off to the rover. Find it on the GPS, and I decide to use what hydrogen I do have to head over. Right, I've got some hydrogen fuel. Sure, it's only the amount in my suit by default, but it's not that far to the rover, really. At least not in a straight line. It's quite a way to drive, given the whole, yeah. And then jetpack fuel almost runs out. Because I'm quite close to the rover, or where it would be, except, of course, the rover has despawned because trash clean up. So that's fun. I go in, I delete the GPS points for the rover, two of them, because it also made one because it was the respawn pod. And then, yeah, it's time to walk home, effectively. So, yeah. A lot of this is just walking back to the base from here. There's not much of any real interest. I managed some reasonably impressive gymnastics in terms of where things are allowed, but that's all I achieve really here for the rest of this. Okay, so here I am walking up to the base, just, making sure everything's okay. I've made it back and refilled everything. Thanks all. This System signing out. Hope to catch you all next week. Please do remember to like, subscribe, comment, especially if you've got any questions you want answered. Be happy to answer them either in the comments or in another video. So catch you all next week.